Okay, hey to everybody. How you doing, Laura? It's Wednesday in Chicagoland. It's hump day. It's great day. We're in the month of October and we're still experiencing beautiful weather. I love it, love it, love it. So anyways, I am so excited because, our platform here for the health and wellness of you, we talk about so many different things. And one of the things that I think is going to be so inspiring to everyone today is we've got a gentleman here that we know from high school that has a very cool, should I say, hobby. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Laura, and have you go ahead and take it over from here.
Sounds great, Deb. Yeah. Oh man, I just feel like I want to jump in a bunch of fall leaves today. It's so beautiful out. But hi everyone. Well, like Debbie said, we're really excited to have a friend of ours, acquaintance from high school. And in fact, I've known him since he was a freshman in high school. He played football with my brother and stuff. But I am so excited because he is just such an amazing man. Okay, he's a husband, he's a father, he's a grandfather, and you know what? When he turned 55, he decided to do bodybuilding. Isn't that amazing? 55 and doing bodybuilding. So, ladies, if you're watching, your husband could be doing this. And you know what? Also, if your husband's home, get him on and watch this. So with that, Mike, I welcome you.
Man, what an introduction. I didn't know who you were going to introduce me with all those nice things. I thought it was someone else. But it's me, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. Gosh, I'm flattered that you even contacted me to be involved with this. The physique, I don't call it bodybuilding because I'm not a bodybuilder. I think of a bodybuilder as being those big, massive guys, and okay. I'm not a big guy. I just kind of do it to stay in shape. But I do physique shows, bodybuilding shows. But so I guess, thanks again for having me. I've always loved activities and athletics. I mean, I spent a lot of time with my mom around my grandkids, and they just want to hear about, they call me Baka. My oldest grandson, who's 10 now, couldn't say grandpa, so he called me Baka. So now that's who I am. And it's funny enough, though, I've been several places where someone will come up to me and say, because my license plate on one of my cars is Baka. They got me vanity plates. And I've had people approach me and say, do you know what that means in Asia or whatever? And, not around here. And I go, no, it just means grandpa to me. He goes, well, it means idiot, so no lie. The Asian translation of my name is not good. So, but it's appropriate. But she always talks about, you want to hear stories about Baka. And it's all the stories are all the bad things I used to do. So from a little kid, I was just horrible, just awful. And, fighting everyone. I always got in fist fights and all that. I mean, it just was incredible, the things I did. And until they got me into sports, and I just became a fanatic. I just wanted to play sports all the time. And pretty much I went to school just so I could play sports, and it was very social for me, and also just getting my aggressions out. And fast forward, married my high school sweetheart, Lisa. Almost started crying. She's so sweet. And started having kids. And I started coaching their kids programs. And then I still kept playing basketball leagues. I played high school basketball, football, and tennis. And I went on to play some college basketball. And then got out of that, had a family, started coaching all their sports, soccer, and what else did they do? A lot of soccer, tons of soccer, and a little baseball. And then I started refereeing men's leagues, basketball leagues, just extra income, as we needed the income back then. And I also remained active playing in basketball leagues, and just kind of my passion. And I've always had a group of guys I played sports with. It was basketball up to the point where I started having joint replacements. I've had my left hip replaced twice. My right hip's been replaced once. 21 years ago was my first one. It's not something that I hate to jump around so much. My mind's racing and all the things I want to say, but I have a lot of friends of mine that say, well, they can't play a sport. They can't be active because of their injury. They have a bad knee. They have a bad this. And I never understood that. I had bad hips. It was kind of a birth, the way my body was built, and then the abuse kind of wear and tear, and ended up having my right hip replaced. And, I'm able to get right back at it. And my doctor encouraged me to be active. And he goes, yeah, the more you use them, the faster they'll wear out, but we can replace them again. So I'm like, sweet. You guys do your job, I'll do mine. Right. So I just keep going. But as my athletic endeavors, as I got older, I had to start modifying them. So eventually, after my second hip replacement, couldn't play basketball anymore. I wasn't able to do the galloping up and down the court. So I switched to racquetball. So it's quick movements, and it's just, keep score with other people. I'm very social, and I got addicted to racquetball, and I started playing in tournaments, and I did real well, and was a fairly decent player. And my left knee got banged up multiple times. I think I had 6 surgeries on it, and finally had it replaced. And the knee is different. He said, you can't abuse your knee like you have your hips. Well, I kept abusing it until I wrecked it again. And so then I said, okay, I'm not going to get it fixed again. I'm just going to stop playing racquetball. But now what do I do? So one of my partners at Lionheart, my company, he started doing some bodybuilding. He's 5 years older than me. And so I think I can't remember how long it was, 6 years ago, he did his first show in St. Louis, and I went down and watched it. Because I've always, my son and I always got the Flex magazines. I like, we always lifted weights a little bit, and so I was always interested in weightlifting and in bodybuilding, I guess. And went down to see my buddy do it. He's just a regular guy like me. And I thought, well, I can't play racquetball anymore. I can't play basketball anymore. I got to do something. I'm gonna, I'm psycho if I don't. And so I asked my wife and my family, what do you guys think if I do this? And they're like, do it. So I did it. And it's like, I don't know, you guys ever get involved with anything for the first time and you're like, try it. And then once you do it, I don't know if you guys, if you ever run races, a 5K,
I have, yeah.
Whatever, when you're done, it's like, now you want to do it again. Right. And so I got the bug, and I hired a trainer, of course, to do the show. And it's just seeing the progression of what I'm doing, my physique building. I had my first trainer was strict meal plan. So I had 5 meals a day, and he told me exactly how many grams of this and what to eat. And I didn't know any better. So luckily my lovely wife prepared all my meals, because I'm not too good in the kitchen. And so she got me all set up. I had to drink 2 gallons of water a day, kind of a really strict regimen. And I did that for like 3 years. And then I was doing a couple shows down. I do a couple shows in the spring, a couple in the fall. I figured once I'm in shape, I want to kind of milk it a little bit and then take some time off and then get back in shape and do it again. And I always did this show down in Indianapolis. It's a Christian trainer, a Christian promoter, real high energy, just a super guy. And he also trains people. And needless to say, a couple of his athletes he trained were beating me. So I'm like, oh, I got to see what this guy's doing. So I switch over to him, and he basically does macros. I'm not sure if you guys know what macros is, but MyFitnessPal, you track your carbs, your fat, and your protein daily. And my trainer sets my parameters based on what I want, what my goals are. Okay. Now, I switched over to one of his sub trainers, because my guy kind of got big and he doesn't train individual people anymore, but I had one of his trainers train me. And same thing, macros. And we have 14 people on his team. I think only 3 of us do competitions. The rest of them are just regular people that either want to gain weight, they want to lose weight, they might have a health issues. Maybe it's for high cholesterol or blood pressure or whatever. The custom tailored the macro, your meal plans based around what you want. And so I've been with him. This is my first season with him, and I'm just having a great time with that. So I guess, the reason why I do the physique building is I just like to keep myself in check. So I like being in shape. I like having a lower body fat. It's always make me feel better. I I don't like being heavier. I don't like being having body fat on me. It's just kind of a mental thing, and that's what I do it for. And a lot of guys who physique build or body build, the key is to get as much muscle as you can. So the off season, which is the winter, there are no shows in the winter time. That's when everyone gains a lot of weight. So the kind of the typical bodybuilder will, like my stage weight's around 180. A typical bodybuilder might get up to about 220, 225, build a lot of mass, build a lot of muscle. And then as they get closer to the show, they start, tighten up their dietary program. And then they get down to the point where they're at 180 for a show. I don't do that. I don't allow myself to get that heavy. I think 200 pounds is about heavy as I'll get. Right now I'm about 188, and I'm about 3.5 weeks away from my first show of the year. I had shoulder surgery this spring, so I couldn't do a show this spring. But so then I'm kind of easing my way down gradually, like a pound a week, and then I'll be ready for my show. So and the shows are fantastic. I'm a very social person. I sell for a living. I love people. I just love just being around people, and I go all over the country doing my shows, and I meet friends. I have guys I compete against and beat, lose to, it doesn't matter. And I meet the best guys, and they're my best friends now across the country, and we try to hook up and do shows together. I've got a show on November 13th in Des Moines with a guy that he beat me in, I don't know where that was, if that was in Omaha or where that was a couple years ago. And, but really cool guy. And we became real good friends. So now we're going to reunite on the 13th in Des Moines and compete against each other. And so I don't know, I could talk forever about this. Do you guys have any questions or want me to talk about anything more specific?
Well, I got something to say. First of all, I want to say I'm impressed, first of all, that you went and you took something. You first of all, you didn't back down when you could have said, oh, poor me, I have this issue or I can't do this anymore. You found something that you could do. That to me right there is whoa, that's really good. But also you and you're very driven, and that you're going to push yourself to the limit and do what you can. Your doctor's going to help you, but you're also keeping yourself in the best optimal health as you can, being the best version of your own self. Okay. So what does that do for you? That does more than just the bodybuilding. That helps your immune system. That helps your metabolism. That helps your brain. That helps your neuromuscular. That helps everything. And so, God forbid something comes your way, you could fight off things better. We're just putting yourself in the best place you could be. And it's such an example to others, because a lot of people get really lazy then and don't do what you could do, what you're doing, so you're a great example. But then you're also so spirited and competitive that you want to go back after and be you want to do the best you can. And I think that's so much fun. There's people that do that in all different areas of their life, and it's cool. You found your, should I say, your mojo of what, you call it basically a hobby, but it's more than that, so yeah.
I've got one thing I can add too, through this process, just the different food substitutions that you can have. People think, oh, you poor thing. You like Marla, my daughter, my sister-in-law, she's love her to death. She's a gourmet cook. And, she just wants to feed everyone, feed, we're on vacation with her last week. You need to eat, I eat a lot. I actually eat a lot of food, even while I lose weight. But it's just not the kind of foods that you like my one, Lisa will make spaghetti meatballs. Well, she'll take zucchini. So zucchini, and it tastes fantastic. She goes to Trader Joe's and gets these meatless meatballs. They're packed with protein. There's no carbs in them. I eat like a king. And there's all protein, and there's so many. There's a bread. I have 3 pieces of bread every morning, and it's at Aldi's also. It's Simply Organic, Fit and Active bread.
Right.
35 calories a slice, where a lot of breads 100 calories a slice. Just little things that you can tweak and eat like a king, and not have put on weight. So
Right.
There's tons of substitutes that are out there, but it's funny. I tell people, you know, you got to do this. Well, and it's crazy how many times people will say, well, I know, but I like to have my double caramel frappuccino, blah, blah, blah every morning.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay, yeah, I like to have a big stack of pancakes every morning, but guess what? The reward of being in good shape and in good, you mentioned, Deb, my health, my doctors, it's incredible. It's like I'm like a 25-year-old internally. Not my skeleton, but the rest of me is really healthy. But you got to make some trade-offs, you know,
Right.
to get rewards.
Right. It's a sacrifice. I mean, you sacrifice some things, but you found that Aldi bread. I mean, Lori and I are the biggest Aldi shoppers. They have such great things and Trader Joe's and all that. And it's funny because your wife is Italian. My husband's Italian, and I make a lot of meatballs out of different things. I make those zucchini noodles too. You know, we mix them. Sometimes I'll mix them in with older pasta, sometimes not, and they're great, you know. So, you know, it's great.
A couple more tips for everyone out there, real quick, and this is big, like salad dressing. Now, I go to Portillo's every day. I get a chopped salad, and the macros aren't bad if you don't get their dressing. Right. Now, and I have these. I go there, and these so many heavy set people are eating these salads, and then they get the house dressing. Well, the salad itself is about 400 calories, with a lot of protein in it. Okay, it's got the chicken and all that, but the dressing is literally 500 to 600 calories just for that.
Oh.
And they offer you that little lemon muffin, which is amazing. That's about 580 calories. So you have a little salad, you're walking out of there with almost a full day's worth of calories. Right. Walden Farms, you can get it any store. They make salad dressing. It's fantastic. I have ranch. I have in my bag right now. I travel a lot selling. I've got a bottle of a balsamic from Walden Farm, 0 calories. They have 0 calorie pancake syrup, great tasting pancake syrup. So I take it everywhere. I go into restaurants with my salad dressing, and people laugh at me. I'm like, you know, I'm not putting ranch dressing because that's a salad's healthy. It's not, you know. Right. So but there's a lot of things you can do that eat like a king and taste great, but you just have to, you know, look for it.
And you know what? It's so true. And you know, a lot of times we got to think like it may take a little bit of work, but once you got it figured out, once you got it down pat, it becomes your habit and it becomes something that you're doing on a daily basis. And then it's a no-brainer. And then other people are like, what are you doing? You know? And so it's great. That's great. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I have some friends that live in Des Moines. I'm going to ask them if, like, is this like an open forum thing where you go and you compete and people come and watch, or is it more of a closed situation?
They're pretty big. They're pretty big events. It's like normally it's in auditoriums, and it's usually a pretty big crowd and stuff. It's a bad event, the spectator event. Like I don't do shows in Chicago much. I've got one actually. My next show's in Chicago, which my first one ever. Because I don't want anyone coming. Because not that I don't want them to see me, because I've had family members. This is interesting. We had a lake house in Southwest Michigan. We just recently sold it, but I do a show in Grand Rapids every spring, like Memorial Day weekend. And I go to my shows by myself now. At least I don't make her come. I mean, they're long, and it's like watching a swim meet, right? You know, like sitting around forever. There's like 700 bikini women out there, which, you know, sounds exciting, but after the first show, it's not anymore. I told her after the morning show is where they do all the judging and grading, and then at night it's a big pageantry. It's a big show, and it's all black tie, and then they hand out the awards. So I knew I was going to win my events that morning. After I got off stage, I knew who. I just looked better than the other guys, and so I told my wife that, and her and my Brittany, my daughter, and all the grandkids, 3 of our grandkids were up at our Michigan house. So they drove an hour and a half up and surprised me that night. When I was on stage, I didn't know. People are going crazy screaming for me. And I'm like, who's screaming for? I don't know. No one knows me here. Why are they screaming, you know? So I walk after I got my trophies and stuff, I walk, you know, I go to leave and I get my stuff, I leave, and they're all outside. So that was pretty exciting.
That's nice.
So, but overall, if you go there to watch someone, it's brutal.
Wow. Well,
Wow.
this is a very exciting. So you're definitely one of the most like unique people that we've actually been able to, go ahead and interview. And I
You
think
can
it's
say weird. You can say weird.
no, I'm not gonna say weird. You're not weird. I don't think what you're doing is weird. We do know some other. We do have people we know. Lori has, somebody that's actually close to her that actually we did have that does bodybuilding, and it's a woman. And I think it's so cool to know that now we can, just show this. Laura, do you have any questions? I'm so excited.
I just have a couple things, and mainly I just want to say, Mike, you're an inspiration to me too, and everybody else. Everybody knows I have disabilities, and sometimes I whine that I can't do anything. And your inspiration has just made me realize that you could do anything. Doesn't matter how old you are, anything. Everything is possible. But I also want to say something that I am so impressed with is the fact that you and Lisa have been together since high school. I remember you guys dating in high school, and to have your marriage last, was it 40 years?
Yeah, it's 40. Yeah, lucky lady, huh?
Wow.
And, you're my Facebook friend, so I see pictures of, you have a wonderful family, and everything, everybody looks like they get along, and, every family has their thing, but I just am so impressed because I think that we need more people like that in our lives. And you're a great role model because there's so many people struggling right now, and we need positive people to be there to mentor us, and I just want to say thank you for that. And Deb, you have any questions to get out of that?
Oh, I just think I think you're a great inspiration. We talked a little prior when Lori and I got on with Mike, and I just want to let everybody know that Mike doesn't have anything necessarily that he promotes per se, but he did say if you have a question or, actually, Mike, we would love to, if you come across different things that have helped you out and you want to, post them, feel free to, because your encouragement to someone else, maybe they're not going to go out and do exactly what you did, but it might make them have the ambition and the drive to maybe, walk a mile or build themselves up or do something, or whatever that they have on their plate. And seeing what you've done can, like Lori just said, it's an encouragement. I think more people these days need to be encouraged and be lifted up because they feel like they're deflated and they're so stressed out. And people need to associate with those kind of people. And that's one of the biggest reasons that Lori and I put this whole thing together, to have for the health and wellness of you. We have a YouTube. We're going to actually convert this today into a YouTube so it's shareable in case, Mike, you want to share it to anybody. You want to let them know about your interview and how they want to know more about you. It's a great testimony. You can put it wherever, it's kind of a little bit about your bio, basically. And with that, Laura, do you want to close us out?
Yeah, thanks again, Mike. It was such a pleasure, and I hope to see some posts on our Facebook page. And Debbie, as usual, you make me smile.
Thanks, Laura.
Everyone have an awesome day. Enjoy this fall weather. Do something fun. Think about what you're going to do over the weekend. And Deb and I will see you on Friday. Okay.
See you. Bye. Thanks again, Mike. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys. Pleasure.
Bye.
Take care.